Welcome back to AHOD, aka All Hands on Deck, aka your new favorite channel. We got Ezra today,
Yeah.
and we got PK and Mike.
Yeah.
And today we're going to be doing a little bit of predictions for this week's slate, this game slate for divisional rounds. Yeah, I guess we can just start off on the Saturday games. Chiefs versus Texans. Who you guys taking?
I'm taking the Chiefs.
Yeah, I don't think there needs to be much to go into this one. I mean, last week, bunch of Chargers picks. Everyone thought the Texans were going to be first round exits, but defense did a great job in that game, limiting Justin Herbert, making him look silly. Really bailed out the offense for their lack of ball movement in that first quarter there. But then when things finally started rolling for them, Chargers just couldn't stop them, couldn't slow them down, especially with their defense. Their offense getting it manhandled like they did. So Texans, pretty solid team going into this, but Chiefs hold field advantage is something else, and I think Mahomes has his eyes set on that number 3 in a row. So I'm gonna take the Chiefs.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're. I saw people saying the Texans have the best defense in the playoffs right now.
I
don't
they're
think that's
hot,
true.
but best defense.
That's called
I
a
think, is
one game.
stretch.
That's called
Yeah,
a one
that's
game
just-
overreaction right there.
I agree. I don't think they're the best defense. I could say the Chiefs have a better defense than the Texans, honestly, in the playoffs.
I guess after last week's showing against the Texans defense, I could see them giving the Chiefs problems. But there's no way. I mean, I said this last week about the Texans Chargers, saying that there's no way the Chargers lost. Yeah, bad take. I think a lot of people had that bad take though.
Yeah,
This
I think I
week,
did too.
there's no way the Texans win this. This is Chiefs runaway. They're rested 2 weeks now. This is their third week that they're playing.
Yeah, something
They
like
rested
that.
their starters week 18.
2
Had the
weeks.
bye week.
2
And
weeks.
now this week. So the Chiefs, they're good. Pacheco's finally fully healthy. I know he was healthy for a little bit the last season, but now he's got rest to kind of get back up. If the Chiefs' run game is strong, Patrick Mahomes is going to be there doing his thing. I think the Texans are in for quite the trouble.
The Chiefs haven't punted a single time on the first drive in the last however many playoff games since 2021. They haven't punted a single punt on the first drive of the playoff game.
That's a crazy stat.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, crazy stat I saw. Divisional round, he is red hot, 16 touchdowns, no picks. So let's see if the Texans can turn them over. They had how many turnovers last week? 4, I want to say, against 4 picks for sure.
Yeah.
Plus, I think there was a fumble that they had too. So 5 turnovers that defense can produce last week. I don't know. They're going to have to take 2 turnovers easily this week if they want to have a good chance to beat the red hot Chiefs.
Is Justin Herbert a bust?
Justin Herbert, I think we need to start considering him as a bust.
No.
6th year in the league going into next year.
No, we cannot, PK. We cannot be saying no that he's not a bust. He is
0 playoff wins.
0 playoff wins. He chokes under pressure just like this. How many playoff years? Is this?
2.
He's got a couple.
2, I think.
I mean, didn't he blow that
0-2.
crazy lead to Trevor Lawrence's rookie year?
No,
They're
that was
up
last year.
28 to-
That was last year. That wasn't his rookie year, but that was last year. Yeah. I think that's the second time being in the playoffs.
Still, I mean, that's a crazy choke job against the Jacksonville Jaguars team out of all teams. I don't know, especially with the AFC being such a strong conference. Got Bills, Ravens, Chiefs. I would even throw the Texans in there. I know there's a couple other teams that you could consider, I guess the Steelers when they're good, but the Chargers, they're just not going to be able to compete. And Justin Herbert needs to lead that team a little bit better if they even want a chance.
I think they got. I think you could buy Justin Herbert's stock. It's at its all-time low. I think they're going. PK, what you say? What you want to say?
He's not a bust. I don't understand that labeling whatsoever. He's one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the league. He's literally one of the best regular season quarterbacks in his first 5 years
So is
of
Dak.
all time. They're on that list. He's played 2 playoff games. One of them he got a 27-0 lead. His team somehow lost that lead and lost the
Because of
game.
him.
Then again, offense didn't really help either, but defense blowing a 27-point lead, it's pretty sad. He played horribly against the Texans, but that was his second playoff game all time, and it was his first year under an entirely new coaching regime, and I just don't see why everyone's.
No, I don't think he's a bust.
Overreacting
I don't
like
think he's
that.
a bust yet. I think they have a high ceiling. Justin Herbert's obviously amazing. Not amazing. He's good in the regular season.
Yeah, but then all it takes is 1 year where he makes a run through the playoffs, an Eli Manning type run, wins a Super Bowl, and everyone's back on him, saying he's one of the greatest quarterbacks to play the game.
But you really see
That's
like any chance of Justin Herbert doing that? Like right now with everything that he's done. Yes, regular
with
season.
Jim Harbaugh as a head coach.
I think if they
he
get a
can.
good running back, I think they will have a
You
great
would
year
say
next year.
J.K. Dobbins was
No.
a good running back this year?
No, I think J.K.
J.K.
Dobbins is
Dobbins.
a great story. Came back from a bunch of injuries, but I don't think he. Imagine they get a running back like even Josh Jacobs, like a running back like that. He's elevating that run-heavy offense to a whole nother level, in my opinion, that we've just not seen.
I think it's blasphemy to like consider Justin Herbert in the same tier as like, I guess Kirk Cousins had a down year this year, but like previous years Kirk Cousins, and I would say even
Yeah, that's crazy.
lower.
Yeah,
end,
I
like
think it's
Baker
blasphemous that
Mayfield.
we're putting Justin Herbert
Wait,
down
you're
to that
saying
level.
he's as good as?
Down to that level?
You're saying he's worse than Kirk Cousins?
I think he's not this year. Obviously, Kirk Cousins
No,
was horrendous. This
You're
year.
saying he's worse than Kirk Cousins all time?
I would say that he's probably a step under.
He
Kirk
has
Cousins.
way more talent than Kirk Cousins.
He has the potential to have.
He's
be a
had
better
more.
career.
He has had better seasons than Kirk Cousins as well.
That's a crazy.
Same thing though.
That's
like
a
Baker
crazy
Mayfield.
name.
I would say Justin or not Justin. Jaden Daniels is probably better than Justin Herbert. I'd say Matt Stafford is better than
Okay.
Justin Herbert.
Oh, Matt Stafford. Yeah.
Okay, Riley, stop.
Okay,
Stop.
Jaden Daniels
he's
is
not,
crazy
he's not a top 10
recency
quarterback in my
bias.
opinion.
Yeah, that like recency bias. Then you got Matt Stafford. I mean, yeah, he's
I
been in
think
the
Matt
league
Stafford
for
is better than
our
Justin
entire
Herbert.
lives, so he's obviously going to be better than Herbert. Like we can't even compare those two.
Yeah, I'd say like a
like,
comparable name for
platonically
Justin
yet.
Herbert is like Trevor
they have
Lawrence.
the same play style though. I'm not
Yeah, you have
saying
to compare the guys
stat-wise.
that were drafted in his era, like Trevor Lawrence. And
Trevor Lawrence,
I know
yes,
there's
Trevor
a few
Lawrence,
others, but I'm
I
kind of
think-
blanking on them right now.
I think
but
he'll be a bust sooner than Justin Herbert.
Well, how does that make sense? You just said Justin Herbert's a bust because he has no playoff wins. Oh my gosh, my mic is buzzing. Because he has no playoff wins, but
Trevor Lawrence has been
Trevor
hurt
Lawrence
though.
has
Like
a playoff
Trevor
win.
Lawrence has been on the worst team every single year of his career,
You
except
just-
the one that he went to the playoffs.
exactly, you're saying no. I think they had a good team this year, but I
This year,
like
yeah,
roster
bottom 5 team.
roster wise, I think they had a good team. Like coming into the year,
for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I
For
would say
sure.
that too. But at the same time, a roster only does so much if your main component of the team isn't running. Like we saw that with. I'm not even gonna get into it yet.
Well, going into this year,
tangent.
if you put the Jaguars rosters at the start of the year next to the Vikings roster at the start of the year, I would have taken the Jaguars as a Vikings fan. I would have taken their roster over ours. But ours, obviously, a lot of people had great years, overperformed, and the Jaguars severely underperformed in a lot of areas, and injuries really killed them. So
Injuries,
I mean,
they did have the injury bug this season. I will give them that. Both the wide receivers got hurt for a little bit. Christian Kirk, I would think, was out for an extended period of time.
yeah, pretty much the back half of the season, Christian Kirk was out.
If you ask me to say their running back core, I mean Tank Bigsby and ETN, they both underperformed. ETN was.
Whoa,
Both of them did.
no,
Yes, both of them did.
Tank Bigsby.
yeah,
did not
ETN did
underperform.
underperform this
But
year. I
ETN
will
did.
say.
Tank Bigsby did not.
Tank Bigsby did not, but then again, like he
There weren't
obviously
really
did
that many
better than his
expectations for
running back
Bigsby
too,
this year, were
Exactly.
there?
No,
There
there
wasn't-
wasn't. But he outperformed any expectations there were.
because there was no
Yeah.
expectations for him.
Okay, but he still outperformed.
He was a goal line back to start the season, and then ETN was
He-
playing like dog crap, and he got a little bit more bigger of a role. So
Tank
obviously he
Bigsby
performed.
literally had the highest for I don't even know how many weeks it was, but he had like the most explosive plays in the NFL. Like every time he touched the ball, it was like a 20+ yard run. But we won't get into that. That was a tangent. We should talk about the
Yeah,
We should
Chiefs,
talk about
Texans.
the
I'm
Lions.
taking the
Commanders.
Chiefs. What are you guys taking?
Chiefs.
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 That was a
Chiefs.
tangent. Holy.
Clean sweep. Texans don't upset us again. Let's go on to the second Saturday slate game. That's gonna be the Lions versus the Commanders. What you guys think?
I'll go last.
You'll go last? All right. Lions versus Commanders. Well, I like the Commanders. I mean, it's been a great story for them. First year head coach Dan Quinn. Everyone looked at that signing last year and thought, oh, that's like another Matt Eberflus signing with the Bears or one of like those other coaches that people don't really get as much coverage from because there's other coaches that are more appealing in the market. But Dan Quinn came in, took over, and led the Commanders to a 12-5 record, coming off a 4-13 season with a rookie quarterback. Jane Daniels, man, kid's special. Kid's some special. But yeah, with all that being said, they're just outmatched in this game, even with all the injuries to the Lions. If they do have Montgomery back, which I think they do, I think the Lions just step on them. I don't think the Commanders are winning this game. I got the Lions.
I agree with that. I think I'm probably gonna take the Lions in this game, but don't completely count out the Commanders. Like the Commanders,
No, don't count them out. But
like if their
it's gonna.
offense performs like they played last week, or even in that good stretch they had at the end of the season, I would say Jaden Daniels being a mobile quarterback, I think we'll be able to see him get out of the pocket, extend some plays. Kind of like what I expected Baker to do last week against the Commanders, but I mean he did. He trucked Bobby Wagner to the ground. But anyways, the Commanders they got to have some extended plays if they want to beat the Lions.
Yeah.
The Lions, they're going to put up 30
Commanders,
points regardless.
the Commanders defense I mean, they'll get you some stops, but they're not going to completely shut a team down. That's what you get from their defense, and I just don't think that formula is going to work against the Lions. I just think even if the Lions defense is shaky against Daniels because of his great mobility and his ability to extend plays and find the open guy, like I just don't think that'll be enough. I think even if the Commanders put up 30 points, I think the Lions still put up 40 because their offense is just it's a fine-tuned engine. They're just too well-rounded.
I think one thing, if the Commanders really want a chance to beat the Lions here, they will have to outcoach Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell is known to do risky plays on fourth down. If they can stop him on his dumb calls, like Dan Campbell, let's be honest, they're great calls, but his luck's got to run out somewhere. And I can see this game where the Lions' luck just runs out on fourth down, not able to convert in the red zone because of those fourth down risky plays, and the Commanders just play a solid game all around. I can see the Commanders winning, but I think Dan Campbell is just a great coach. Honestly, coach of the year behind Kevin O'Connell this year, in my opinion.
I think he
debatable,
has it.
could win it. But the Lions, their team's sound. Also, David Montgomery's back this week, so that tangent. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs torched the Vikings week 18, 4 touchdowns. I could probably see a game similar to that with David Montgomery taking some of the workload off. So, take the Lions.
Man.
Who are you taking?
I'll take the Lions. I mean, both these teams go for it on fourth down. You were saying
Yeah.
The Lions are going to exploit that, or the Commanders are going to exploit that. I think both. I mean, we've seen Cliff Kingsbury, the offensive coordinator, go for it on fourth down quite a bit, and it paid off last game. I don't know if the Commanders beat the Bucs as much as the Bucs beat themselves last week, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer to go with the Lions here. We haven't seen them play in a week, but I mean, they're just it's like you can't bet against them until you see them flop.
Yeah. They had them and the Chiefs had the best record in the entire NFL this year. I mean, the Commanders, they're a great team, but the Lions, like, they're 10-point favorites this game. Like, I could easily see them not winning by 10, but I could definitely see them winning this game.
Yeah, I'll just go the Lions. I got nothing else on it.
All right, moving on to the Sunday slate games. We got Eagles versus Rams to start.
Let me go.
Yeah, you start this one.
Yeah, we'll let you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Eagles. Yeah.
What a shocker.
Well, Eagles. It's a snowy game. We got
Is that fact
Confirmed.
checked? Is that true?
I'm pretty sure. Like I'm almost 100. I'm like 97% sure it's gonna be a snowy game. I think it's supposed to start snowing at 2 in Philly, and the game starts at 3. So there's gonna be like snow on the ground before the game even starts. It's supposed to snow through the game. It's gonna be cold. Matthew Stafford, I think, is 1-9 in games in cold temperatures in his entire career. It's a real stat. Even though he played for the
Are
Lions.
you? And that it can't be right.
Let's search it right now. Check it right now.
Is that what is the criteria for cold weather games?
Let's check.
He's thinking cold weather games. That means
Probably like
Do you
below
think
freezing?
he'd get
Probably like
more than one win combined against the Bears and Packers because he played one of those teams every year outside at Soldier Field or Lambeau, which I highly doubt wasn't a cold weather game.
Yeah, I mean, cold weather game. If you're considering a cold weather game,
1-8 in snow games. Sorry, in snow games.
Snow games. Okay, that's understandable. I mean, a lot of quarterbacks struggle in snow games unless they're playing on them every single year.
14
Let's
touchdowns.
be honest, that
11
one snow game was
interceptions.
against the Eagles, and the other 7 were probably against those other 2 teams, the Bears and
Super Bowl.
Packers. And that was when the Bears were actually,
1-8.
Color, Matt Stafford,
1-8's
Uncle
1-8.
pretty solid team.
14 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. 1-8. Cooper Kupp.
They're
Cooper Kupp has not looked like Cooper Kupp.
Okay, I would say yes, Cooper Kupp hasn't looked
He's
like
gonna
Cooper
get
Kupp,
clamped by Cooper DeJean.
but it's because he's not getting targeted. Like even in that Vikings game last week, he got one catch, and it was probably one of the biggest catches.
He's
of
not
the
getting
game for
open.
him.
He's not getting any separation. That's
Yeah,
why.
okay, but
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. It's either you go Cooper Kupp or Puka Nacua. It's not like it's a 1A 1B.
Or
It's
Tyler
not like
Higbee.
a 1 to drop
I mean,
off.
we saw Tyler Higbee before he got injured against the Vikings dice you guys up. And Blake Cashman, right, PK? Yeah.
Let's not get into the
Blake
Vikings
Cashman.
game.
All right, yeah, no, I got the Eagles.
Vikings are still going to the bowl. I just want to let you know that
uh-huh.
right now. Somehow, some way, Pro Bowl maybe.
I think the snow plays into the Eagles' hand perfectly. I mean, as long as we shut down Kyron Williams in their run game, they don't have anything. I mean, the matchup between Tyler Higbee and either what's his name? Oh my gosh, I'm a bot. Oren Burks or
Zach Vaughn.
no, not Zach Vaughn.
Isn't
Our backup.
didn't N'Kobe Dean get hurt
Kobe
last
didn't got
week?
injured yet. So either Oren Burks or Jeremiah Trotter Jr., whoever is a matchup against Tyler Higbee will be a matchup to watch in the snow. I think that'll be exploited. Other than that, I'm not too worried about our defense. I'm taking the Eagles here.
I think this game will be closer than people are going to give it credit. I think the Eagles, if Saquon's able to have a great game in the snow, I can see them being able to manage the game. The Eagles are a great team managing game. Like they're good at running the ball, good at extending drives. Just ticking clock away until it's crunch time. But the Rams, their defense played insane last week. I think they overperformed. But then again, Eagles have a better O-line, in my opinion, than the Vikings, obviously. Running back wise, I think Saquon's obviously miles better than the Vikings running back. But then again, I think we are discrediting the Rams secondary. There's not many big names on that team, but they didn't really allow the Vikings to do anything passing wise.
I'm not discrediting their secondary. I think they have a good secondary.
No, I definitely not. But I do think the Eagles' offense is better than the Rams. So I'll probably take the Eagles in this game, but I wouldn't, count the Rams out by any means. Phillies is 7-point favorites in this game, but I mean
7? I think it's 4.5.
right there on it says -6.5.
Oh, shoot.
But like I'm not, nobody's gonna win by 6.5 points. I'm just saying it's 7 points.
I mean, they beat them by 7 points last
yeah,
time they played.
Eagles team last week they played decent against the Packers, but the Packers for some reason they just played horribly in the first half, and then the last 2 quarters, I'd even say a quarter and a half, they just start to pull something out of their ass and make it a close game. But I don't know. I just don't see the Rams coming out strong against Eagles in Philadelphia
In a cold game.
in a cold game. I think that's going to be the toss-up of the week. Who wins this game?
This
I'm
is the
taking the Eagles.
toss-up?
I think this is a toss-up.
You don't think the Bills and Ravens is
I
a
think the
toss-up?
Bills and Ravens, yes, that's going to be probably the biggest toss-up. But I think that game is going to be a shootout. Like I could see this game being either a shootout or a low-scoring game. Like that's why I'm saying like it could be a toss-up because I don't know what to expect right now. Like the cold game could affect both teams, or it could not affect them at all. So
Yeah, maybe.
I guess I'm kind of excited to see how this one pans out.
All right, PK, what you got?
All right, I'm going to take the Rams, and I'm not going to elaborate. Okay, next game.
Not going to elaborate.
He's got no reason.
Nope, next game.
Got
No reason.
No reason. He's got no proof.
All right.
No, I have reasons. I'm just not going to elaborate on them.
no reason.
Let's pull this clip back up next week.
Yep.
All right, going into the last game of this week's game slate, we got the Bills versus Ravens on Sunday night.
All right, you can start.
We're starting this off.
Yeah.
Josh Allen will win this playoff game to play the Chiefs next week. And I got some reasons behind it. All right. We played the Broncos last week, obviously. The Broncos, they kind of scared us. They, the first drive, deep play, touchdown, had me kind of on my heels. Like, dang, the Bills really gonna lose this game. But like we all know, the Bills play down to their competition and they play up to their competition. This game will be a shootout. I think Josh Allen has done wonders in his extending drives, making plays, getting first downs out of nothing. I think the Ravens, it was a good week last week against the Steelers, but I didn't think Lamar Jackson really had to work for that at all. And that's my honest take. I think he was able to just kind of manage the game. Obviously, they won, but like the Steelers, their offense had nothing. Like nothing. Literally nothing. Russell Wilson, Justin Fields did nothing against their team. Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, who are they? Najee Harris, biggest fall off of the recent history in running back standpoint. I think the Ravens are going to – yes, I don't think Najee Harris is a good running back. He has
Fall
so much
off from
hype coming out
what
of,
though?
he had so much
What did
hype
he
coming
fall
off
off
of his
from?
rookie year, and I just think he's consistently underperformed every single year after that.
So it's not a fall off. He's just been disappointing.
Yes, but his rookie year compared to what was expected out of him in the next coming years.
Ezra,
Jalen
can we
Warren,
get a
I didn't
fact check
know-
on what his rookie year was? Why are we talking like his rookie year was like 1,500 yards, 20 touchdowns?
I think it was actually.
I think he had like
I think it was.
1,136
rookie
yards
season.
and like
I think it was. I think it
12
was over
touchdowns.
1,500 yards.
like total
Was it
scrimmage yards.
scrimmage
not like
yards? Are we
rushing
I'm
yards.
talking rushing yards
I-
only.
I think he's over 1,800 rushing yards. Is that crazy to say?
I don't
That
think it was
year?
18. I don't
Um,
think it was 18,
let me
but I think it was
check.
definitely up there. But like Jalen Warren, I had
Okay,
no idea who
1,200
Jalen Warren was until he took Najee Harris's role.
Read them.
1,200 rushing yards. 74 receptions for 467 receiving yards.
So about
10
16.
total touchdowns. 381 touches with no fumbles. Started in all 17 games.
Okay, now look at the previous game. 'Cause I know he was close to 1,000 rushing yards. this
17
season.
games though.
What are you?
So he averaged
what are you
1,600
saying?
yards.
This season, how did he perform
What are
this
you
season?
saying? 17 games.
You just said 17 games.
Yeah, he started all 17 games.
No fumbles. Meanwhile, like that's a good season
Alright.
for a running back. 1,600 total yards, 10 touchdowns,
1,200.
no
Hey.
fumbles.
1,200.
Troy Aikman said it best on the
1,200.
Monday Night Football broadcast between the Steelers and Bengals. 1,000 yards rushing with 17 games isn't as
He had 1,200 yards.
much of an accomplishment as it used to be. Now, at first, I thought that was a pretty mean thing to say. I thought that was like, wow, you're a douche, Troy Aikman. But now I kind of see it. A lot of guys are getting 1,000 rushing yards in 17 games, even though they're having all right seasons. Like, I just don't feel like 1,000 rushing yards is really that much of an accomplishment anymore.
1,000 rushing
1,200
yards
though,
is
that's
still
pretty good.
1,000 rushing.
So that was a pretty good rookie year. But yeah, he's just been steady over 1,000, between 1,000 and 1,200 every year. So
Alright, so
Anyways, I
I
think
feel
the
like
Bills.
he's just,
Back to my point. I think the Bills have also. I really do think that they're better at having deeper plays, deeper pass plays, longer plays, rushing yards, 60-yard passes.
You think-
touchdowns.
I'm pretty sure the
like-
Ravens have the most explosive. Like they literally are the
Not
number
not
one in
necessarily
explosive plays.
but like explosive plays like downfield, like
Yeah, that's what I'm
20
saying.
plus
Like yards
yards.
per play. I think the Ravens are number one.
I guess I don't know. I don't pay too much attention with the Ravens, but the Bills, I think they're a better team. I think they're going to win. I think Josh Allen is better than Lamar Jackson. I think throwing wise, he's better than Lamar Jackson at throwing. I'd give Lamar on the ground rushing agility. But Josh Allen, I think, is just better than him. I think Josh Allen's going to win the MVP this year over Lamar Jackson. That just when you have the MVP on your team, I think you're a better team. That's my honest take.
I think Lamar Jackson's the better player, and Josh Allen's only the more valuable player than him because his team around him isn't as good as Lamar Jackson's. But that's the thing. Lamar Jackson has the better team around him, and he's put up the better stats because of that. So I think they're the better team. I think the Ravens are going to win.
Yeah, I am gonna agree with PK on this one. I think the Ravens are gonna win
I'll
this
stand
game.
alone on this.
I kind of want the Bills to win. I want this to be. I obviously want it to be a good game.
But I think the Ravens are gonna win. I wouldn't say in dominating fashion. I think it's gonna be. I don't even know. If I had to
I
guess
think
the
the
score,
NFL is going to let either team win this game in a blowout. They want this game. They want to milk every dollar they can out of this
Nah,
game.
these-
This game's
these
going to be a
refs are in it
freaking
for
shootout.
both 42 to 43.
I got 38-35. Win on a field goal. Justin Tucker.
See, this is my thing
Five
too.
The
touchdowns.
Ravens' defense shut down the Bills before their defense was even considered that good
Yeah, that's also
at
true.
the start of the year.
But the Bills are a way different team, in my opinion, than they were at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, they have some things figured out now for sure. But yeah, you can't. That was week 4 game, week 3 game. So
Yeah, it was early in the season.
way different teams now. So you can't really, I guess, reference that.
All right.
So you don't want to defend your Rams over Eagles take? 'Cause
I
I'm
don't
down.
need to elaborate on it.
Okay, well, let me just cover all the points then. Or do you want to be done talking about the Ravens?
I got one more thing about the Ravens Bills game. Who do you guys think? Whoever loses this game, whose legacy do you think it affects more if they lose?
Lamar's.
Josh
or
Allen's.
Lamar's.
Oh wait, no, Lamar's. Yeah, you're right. I don't know. I have this thing in my head. Lamar's made so many championship games, but every time he's run into Patrick Mahomes and lost. So
I
Why
think.
would-
Lamar got to a
why-
conference championship?
bro,
Lamar has he?
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like this game doesn't
championship went to
even
one.
matter to that conversation. Like, I mean, it does in retrospect, but like, the only thing that matters is whoever wins this game. All that matters is next week. Because if you lose next week to the team you're gonna see for however many times in a row in the AFC Championship game, and you lose to them, it's just gonna be the same conversation for the both of them.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like they can't beat Lamar, because that's why everybody puts Joe
You
Burrow
mean
in such.
Mahomes?
Or yeah, the Mahomes. That's why everybody puts Joe Burrow in such like a higher tiers, because he beat the
Yes.
Mahomes to go to the Super Bowl
Probably should have won.
against the Rams.
Probably should have won that Super Bowl that year.
Shoulda.
They should have, yeah.
It was a good Super Bowl.
I think this
It was.
affects Josh Allen's more than Lamar. And this is my only reason why.
What?
I think Lamar will always be a great quarterback, stat-wise. You know, he's. I would say him and Mahomes are probably the two quarterbacks that get envisioned when you think about the NFL. There's so many Lamar fans. There's so many Mahomes fans. But Josh Allen,
What?
I think he'll just be remembered as a wild card winner. I think he'll win every single wild card game he'll ever play in, and then play against another good quarterback.
5-0 against the 7 seeds.
He is 5-0 against the 7 seeds. He's consistently gotten to the divisional round every
But,
single
like,
year.
The Bills overperformed this season, which is why I don't agree.
Overperforming what though? Like they didn't have any expectations, so
That's
obviously they
what I'm saying.
overperformed. But like
They did
my
have
point.
some
the Bills were a
expectations.
good team.
No, they did not.
Just because they lost Stephon Diggs
People
does
didn't even
not
expect
mean
them to get to the playoffs this year.
Who?
The Bills. People did not expect them to get to the playoffs.
Who are they gonna lose in the
What forums are you reading off of?
Bro, everybody had the Jets going over them.
Okay,
Some
Jets,
people had the Pats
No,
going
No,
over.
no, no,
No,
no,
the
no,
Pats,
no,
no.
no, no.
Yes, they
No,
did.
no, no,
Everybody
no,
had
no.
the.
They had the
Jets,
Jet.
yeah.
No, no,
Yes, they
no,
had
not
the
everybody.
Jets. Okay,
A
not
lot
everybody,
of people
but
did have the
most
Jets
people.
winning the division, but
Some-
that didn't
some
mean the
people had the-
Bills were not. No.
Okay, but some people had the
No.
Dolphins going over them.
No.
The Bills had no aspirations to see, like you weren't looking in this season. You were thinking, oh, the Bills.
Those are
gonna be a
cherry
Super Bowl
picked.
team.
Those are cherry picked. If you go back to the start of the season, look at their playoff percentage or estimated percentage to make the playoffs, the ESPN stat, whatever you want to freaking call it. I bet you they're well over 50% to
Yeah,
make
but
the
they
playoffs.
they weren't expected to be the 2 seed, and they weren't expected to do this much with this roster. Everybody said Josh Allen had no weapons because they got rid of Diggs. Their defense was
I
worse.
bet you everybody that said that they weren't going to do that much with this roster were like, they can if they have a really good year, but I doubt it'll happen. But it did happen. But they still knew there was a possibility because they had Josh Allen on their team.
I don't know. Anytime
that's
you
the
have
right way
a
to
top 3
think.
quarterback in the league, you can never doubt that team out. That's my opinion.
Yeah, obviously, but they still overperformed.
Yes, they overperformed.
Yeah, they
because of what their
overperformed
team
that.
was at the
Yeah,
start
we'll
of the
give you
year.
that.
Okay.
But to
Just
say they weren't
because-
even making the playoffs, that's
Just because nobody
gross.
knew who Khalil Shakir was at the beginning of the season does not mean week or 1 or 2 after they saw who Khalil Shakir was, and Keon Coleman had a rough start to the season. But like James Cook was easily the best top 3 running back in the league this year. I would
Huh?
put him, Saquon, and Derrick Henry as the top 3
No.
running backs this season.
No.
Who are you taking over James Cook?
Josh Jacobs or Jahmyr Gibbs.
No way.
Josh Jacobs, Jahmyr Gibbs,
I'm taking
Saquon
James Cook.
Barkley, Derrick
No.
Henry.
No. Saquon Barkley didn't. I mean, James Cook didn't even have 1,300 per all.
James Cook was in the lead for total touchdowns this season
Touchdowns.
until Jahmyr Gibbs drops 4, and he only won by 1 touchdown.
That's a touchdown. Like that's all he
But
had.
like
was
stats wise
touchdowns.
too, he was great in receiving. He was great in rushing. He's a top fantasy back too. I mean,
He's
that has
definitely
to
not
count somewhere.
top 3 running backs.
I would say he's top 3.
Would you rather Jahmyr Gibbs or James Cook on the Giants or on the Bills right now?
I would say Jahmyr Gibbs.
Okay, that answered my question. Thank you.
But that's just because James Cook is a little bit older. Obviously, Jahmyr Gibbs. Is
Right now, going into the playoffs, who do you want on your team? Your hesitation tells me Jahmyr Gibbs. Because if you're confident in your James Cook's sake, you would say
I
James
like
Cook.
Jahmyr Gibbs, but I like James Cook.
Okay,
I think
Josh
James
Jacobs
Cook
or
fits better
Josh
on the
Jacobs or
Bills than
Jahmyr
Jahmyr
Gibbs
Gibbs
or
would.
Josh Jacobs or
Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, not Jahmyr Gibbs. James Cook, easily over Josh Jacobs. Easily over Josh Jacobs.
that's blasphemy.
Mm.
That's
Josh
blasphemy.
Jacobs
Yeah.
is not the greatest receiving
No.
back, and James.
Mm-mm.
Josh Jacobs, you
James
could
Cook-
argue Josh Jacobs put the Packers on his back the second half of their season. Not the second half, but he helped them with a lot of their games.
Yeah, but their wide receiver.
Yeah, if
coach,
teams
they're-
had to.
Like you're not
Teams
James
had
Cook
to-
doesn't have game-breaking ability. Like he
What
does-
do you mean,
Yeah,
James Cook doesn't
bro,
have
if,
game
Okay.
if Josh
breaking
Jacobs was lining up with Josh Allen as his quarterback, like the
That's-
attention on him
That's almost as
cut
good
in
as
half.
Yeah, for sure.
Cut in half.
The
And
reason-
he's just dominating.
The reason my argument can win itself is because the Bills have a 3-headed monster. They use 2 running backs that people have never heard of because James Cook is not that good. if it was just Josh
Don't say
Jacobs,
people never heard of.
okay, right, Ty Johnson and
Ray
Davis, people know them, but like you're not gonna go on a roster and be like, oh, those 3 running backs are better than Josh Jacobs.
I'm taking James Cook.
That's crazy. That's just
I
pure
like James
bias.
Cook. I like what he does. He has a good fit there.
I like James
Who
Cook
cares
too,
if they
but
have
I
a-
don't like him more than
a
Josh
300
Jacobs.
monster backfield. Like, they don't really use Ray Davis or Ty Johnson in the running game.
Yeah, they do.
They use them in the passing game more than the running game. And the only time they use
Ray
them
Davis
in
is
the
a
running game
beast.
is when they're clock managed. James Cook gets the workload out of the backfield rushing wise. And he has the ability to go out, make catches, and extend plays.
I think James Cook is a good running back. I just don't think he's better than Josh Jacobs or Jahmyr Gibbs.
I would say Jahmyr Gibbs is better than James Cook. But I would take him
Yeah,
over
Josh
Josh
Jacobs.
Jacobs any day of the week.
Who else could you argue over James Cook?
Not many. Not many.
Maybe Brees Hall? Nah, probably
Brees
not.
Hall. Okay, Brees Hall.
No, probably not
I think
this
Brees
season.
Hall had a down year, but I think Brees Hall does have potential to be better than James Cook. I just think that offense in New York was just lackluster, so he didn't really have any opportunities to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, you can say that.
But anyways, Bills over Ravens. You guys are taking the Ravens that game.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm excited. If the Ravens do get there, I do think they have a really good chance to upset the Chiefs and go to the Super Bowl this year. But
Yeah. I think the
Lions
Ravens have the best
versus
Yeah,
team.
how
Eagles.
many years have we been saying that?
I think the Ravens easily have the
I
best
mean,
team in the
20
AFC.
years. I think in clockwork a little more.
Will this be the 3rd year if the Ravens win that we've said? I think they knocked
Yeah.
the Chiefs off.
Yeah.
Lamar saved me. I still remember that.
I remember that too.
That's a great trend.
Nothing about the Rams, PK. All right.
Yeah, nothing about the Rams, huh?
I was
I'm
kinda excited
I'm
to
kind of
see
mad
that.
about that, PK. Because I gave reasons when I said the Rams were going to beat the Vikings.
I was kind of excited to see you guys argue about this.
Yeah, PK's just scared.
Nah,
He's scared of beef.
Rams, no elaboration.
He knows
I
I'm-
know
He
why.
knows I'm going to win the argument. That's why I just want to do it.
I just want to win the argument. What argument
No, I
is there
said
to be had?
you know I'm going to win the argument. Or whatever stats or whatever you're going to say.
This isn't even
just
an
gonna be
argument.
Disputed. Yeah, because you're not saying anything. All I'm saying is the only
so
reason
it's
the
not an
Vikings
argument.
got sacked 9 times is A, because Sam Darnold held on the ball way too long, which I think Jalen Hurts does. But the Rams' pass rushers are speed reliant, and the Eagles' blockers are strength. Like they will bully these
AKA
little
they
guys.
hold with getting away with it.
Okay, I guess. Just pure.
Lane
blatant
Johnson, Mr. False Starter himself.
He does do that. I've saw like clips of him doing that. He does break out really.
Seen,
good.
sawn,
Seen. Yeah, my bad.
seen, sawn,
Saw
sawn.
2 clips on TikTok, and now you believe everything.
We're
Yeah,
back to this
both
thing.
you
Back to
just
this
read
thing.
things on TikTok and just believe what you see. You don't actually watch the Eagles play
Ezra
football.
watches other people talk about his team and then get their facts from
I
him.
mean, that's still media.
All
over
right.
TikTok.
Ezra gets his.
You know what Riley said
Eagles
to me
takes
before we
from,
recorded this,
from,
BK?
from unbiased sources
Hey, we don't
like
need to put this on
Philly
YouTube. We don't
talk.
need to put this
Yeah.
on YouTube.
You know what
I'm
Riley
cutting
said
it
to me?
out.
He said-
Cutting it out.
He said two referees got fired for the Rams Vikings game.
I saw it from multiple people. It's
Dude,
not
saw
like
one
just saw it from
TikTok.
one bootleg TikTok source.
And I Googled it, and it instantly said, no, that's false.
Yeah, it was also AI generated. So, anyways, that Vikings
Yeah,
game,
well, Riley, I just don't think that Nick Sirianni has it in to win 4 straight games against good teams. So, I mean, I just don't like the Eagles.
any team 4 straight is kind
4
of
straight.
crazy.
Nick Sirianni's never going to win 4 straight. Never, ever.
Yep.
Not like he
No,
has
probably not.
almost
Unless he plays
every-
the Giants,
Probably not.
Jaguars,
Panthers.
Raiders, and
Or
I
Vikings,
think of any other trash team.
Vikings, huh? Probably Vikings,
yeah,
Vikings,
actually,
Vikings,
he
Vikings.
probably would win that game because
Yeah,
it'll be
he
his
would.
first game against a real
Beat the
team in
brakes off you
5
guys.
weeks.
Mhm.
They'll play next
9
year.
sacks. Imagine putting up as many
First
points
time-
as you put up sacks.
It'll be the first time y'all play. The Eagles have never played at US Bank Stadium. It's been around for almost 10 years now.
We're going to that
Never
game,
played
PK.
at US Bank
We're going to that game.
What do you
Because-
mean they didn't play at US
because
Bank? Did they
we've
not play
always
2017?
played
We
at
played
Eagles
4 years
Stadium
ago.
in regular season.
4 years ago?
Wasn't the Super Bowl in US Bank Stadium?
Yeah,
2017?
PK. We played in US Bank Stadium when we beat the
I'm
piss
talking
out of
about
you
against
guys.
us, you
We
nitwits.
played it in the
you
game
you
before.
had the home game.
Oh, that was in the link.
No,
it
that was
wasn't. That was in Minnesota.
That was in Minnesota. You guys were the higher seed. Yeah, I remember that.
You
No,
had
no,
2
we were the
weeks in
1
a
seed
row.
that year.
Are you guys?
No,
Are
we
you
were the
guys
ones that year.
actually?
2017, we were the
Dog.
1 seed. We were the 1 seed.
Are you guys
We were
serious?
the 1 seed.
Are you guys serious? You actually
Yeah,
thought
you're right.
that we were the hosting team for the NFC Championship?
No, I
I
just remember
gotta
beer-
take a
beer
break. You
cans
guys talk about whatever you want. Oh my.
He's gone.
PK? Did they leave?
And PK's gone just like that. Anyways, I do want to just give a shout out to the Minnesota Vikings. I appreciate everything you did this season. Another heartbreak. You know, almost 20 years of me watching Minnesota sports, Vikings, and not a single Super Bowl appearance. I'm kind of genuinely concerned for my life being about Minnesota. Also, shout out Sam Darnold for breaking my heart. I want to throw a clip up here from last week. Me saying they're going to the bowl. 2025 was not the Vikings' year. 2026, it's our year. We're moving on. I'm sorry, my predictions
Yeah, we
were
better
off.
move on.
Anyways, love Minnesota. Anthony. All right, well that's gonna wrap up our divisional slate picks and predictions for this weekend. We're also gonna throw a little segment in there. We each are gonna have 2 picks, parlay style, player props for this weekend as well. I'll start off. My 2 picks. First pick, I'm gonna have Josh Allen to throw over 1.5 touchdowns. I think this game is gonna be a blowout, like we were talking about earlier. I don't see any way that Josh Allen doesn't get at least 2. I can see him getting 3. I can see him getting 4. But I can also see 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns. There's no way that either of these teams, in my opinion, are going to be below 30 points. So that's a maximum of 4 touchdowns, or minimum of 4 touchdowns each. And then I'll go into my last pick. I really think I'm going to take Travis Kelce's prop anytime touchdown. Travis Kelce is Mahomes' guy in the playoff, being able to get open.
What did Travis Kelce say? He said he's feeling 22.
He's feeling 22, and I think he's going to get 6 this weekend. Anyways, I'm taking Travis Kelce, score a touchdown. I can see him scoring multiple touchdowns. I can see him having a good game.
Why not?
Kind of an underrated season for him, but I think he's going to score. Those are my 2 picks. Ezra?
Yep. Mine's a no-brainer. Simply put it in, no sweat. First, Commanders, Jaden Daniels, rushing yards. Whatever the line is, take it. Lions run the most man coverage in the NFL. He's going to be able to juke out one of their blitzers at least 7-8 times. He's going to take off. Dude's fast. Dude can make a man miss. Take that prop. And then I'm going to go Eagles. Now, this is a bad – I think this is – okay, it's not a bad pick, but it's a risky one because it's snowing. But every time Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown, the media talks about them, they're like, oh, these guys are not on the same page. They're not getting along, right? You're A.J. Brown. You're reading inner excellence. Media, boom, pans it. You're on the camera.
I'm imagining.
Yep, you're imagining it. A.J. Brown's line on underdog is at 69.5. I do not see him. He torched the Rams last time they played. I think he's going to torch him again, snow or not. He's going to get a check down. He's going to bust it. He's going to go over the top. 69.5 is the lock. Those are my 2 picks.
Drop.
All right. We're going into my 2 picks. All right, here we go. I
Gotta go ring to it.
believe.
His picks has gotta go.
Okay, so
picks,
out of all the games we have this week, there's 2 picks right here. I'm pretty confident in both these 2 picks. So my first one is Patrick Mahomes over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Like Riley said, career divisional record, probably undefeated. I don't think he's lost a divisional game, if I can remember off the top of my head. That's probably true. And 16 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. He's quite a dominating force in the divisional round. I feel like the Texans have a good enough defense to make it so that the Chiefs won't kill them on the ground and score most of their points on the ground or through field goals. I feel like Mahomes will get the opportunity to have multiple passing touchdowns in this game, so I like that 1.5 passing touchdowns line over for Patrick Mahomes. And then my second one, I'm thinking like Ezra a little bit right here, but I'm thinking a different team. Give me Lamar Jackson's rushing yards, 55.5. Wait, you know what? Scratch that. I'm going to be boring, and I'm going to go kicker. Same game. Give me Kymie Fairbairn, 1.5 field goals for me. I feel like the Chiefs defense is going to do just enough to stop the Texans offense, and the Texans offense, or it could be vice versa, the offense just won't do enough to score touchdowns, and they'll have to settle for field goals. Kymie Fairbairn this year has made more than 1.5 field goals in every game this season except for 4 games this season. So 14 out of 18 games he has gone over that line. So I'm pretty confident in that, especially in the playoff game. And when they played them in the regular season, he was 2 for 2. So I'm going to lock that in as my 2 picks.
PK's picks. PK's pivots.
All right, we'll throw those up on the screen for you. If you want to follow us, shout out our Instagram. We'll throw the picks on there too. But anyways, that's gonna wrap up this week's episode of Divisional Slate picks. You guys got anything to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll check back. We'll check back on those picks.
Yeah.
Check back on those.
We're gonna put $100 on 6 leg. What, $600?
Six leg?
What's the multiplier on that?
Shoot, I don't even know. We'll have to throw that together. We'll throw it in the parlay.
Depends on what app you use.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll use underdog. Shout out underdog.
Underdog or sleeper.
Yep.
Oh,
Not
give us a
sponsored.
code. Give us a
Not
code.
sponsored. Not sponsored. We'll say if you're a Philadelphia Eagle and you're hearing this,
Don't listen.
please, somebody in the locker room hear this. Please beat the piss out of the Rams, bro.
He's
Please
speechless.
do it. Please.
Don't worry, the Rams have stapled up a thing of the Eagles
Actually,
talking to Dan Campbell a week early too.
yeah. That's what they did. You
They
actually know.
they just plastered Sean McVay's face on Kevin O'Connell's.
Just a sticky note of
Sam Darnold.
Sirianni's face.
Oh man, that's too cold. All right. Well, I would have more to say. I'll give you guys a pep talk, but let's just win the game.
Grandma, your grandpa, your weird distant uncle.
Tell your friend of a friend. I'm talking way too loud in this mic. Tell your friend of a friend to tap into AHOD and listen to the smoothest sports talk radio.
He's not that smooth, guys. All right. Anyways, thank you guys. We'll see you next week. Peace.